Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. Today we dive deep into the world of the United States of America 1963 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that collectors around the world still search for, hoping to discover a rare error or an extraordinary condition piece that can transform a simple penny into a treasure. Before you skip this tiny copper coin thinking it is too common, listen closely, because within these coins exist varieties that can change their value dramatically and make them extremely sought after by collectors. The 1963 penny came from the Denver Mint, a mint known for producing high quantities but also known for producing some of the most interesting mint errors of the Lincoln Memorial series. These pennies were struck during a time when America was changing fast, just months before the tragic events of 1963 that changed the course of American history. People often forget that coins like these are more than currency, they are time capsules of a nation's past. Every scratch, every shine, every minting flaw tells a story of how the coin survived for decades. One reason collectors love the 1963 penny is because it is a transitional era coin. It belongs to the copper era, made with 95% copper and the rest zinc and tin. Copper coins age in unique ways, turning darker, sometimes developing rainbow tones known as toning that collectors admire. But the real excitement comes from hunting for rare errors. These errors are what can turn a simple coin into something extraordinary. For example, one of the most thrilling errors from this year is the double die. This is when the design is accidentally struck twice in slightly different positions, creating shadow like doubling on the date, liberty, or the motto. These coins are incredibly desirable because they are visually stunning and unmistakably unique. Another rare error collectors search for is the repunched mint mark. During this time, the mint mark was punched by hand, meaning misalignment or multiple impressions were possible. Some 1963 pennies were struck with the D punched more than once, showing doubling or tripling under magnification. These tiny imperfections are treasures for coin hunters. Even a small shift in the mint mark position can increase the value many times over. There are also die cracks and die breaks, where lines or raised bumps appear on the coin because the mint's equipment was starting to wear out. Some cracks run through Lincoln's portrait, through the date, through the words United States of America, making the coin look like a dramatic piece of art. These flaws were never intended, but collectors love them because they make each coin one of a kind. Another fascinating variety is the off-center strike. When the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned, the design appears shifted, sometimes showing blank space on one side. The more off-center it is, the more valuable, especially if the date is still visible. The 1963 penny is also loved by people who enjoy finding high-grade coins. Even though billions were made, finding a coin in perfect condition after more than 60 years is extremely difficult. Most circulated heavily, were kept loose in pockets, found in cash registers, dropped repeatedly, and tossed into jars. A perfectly preserved piece is like finding a time machine that takes you back to the day it was minted. Sharp details, blazing red copper color, and spotless surfaces are what make these coins extremely valuable in the market. Collectors also enjoy the historical feel of this coin. It carries the final years of the original Lincoln Memorial reverse before later changes. The memorial design shows tiny details like Lincoln sitting inside the monument, barely visible to the naked eye. The precision of this design is one of the reasons collectors appreciate coins from this era. So when you look at a 1963 penny, do not think of it as just a coin. Think of it as a mystery waiting to be opened. Every error, every unusual shine, every mark can tell a different chapter of its journey. That is why collectors examine these coins carefully under magnification, checking the date, the mint mark, the lettering, the fields, the rim, and even the background metal texture. A single discovery can turn the coin from pocket change into a valuable collectible. And now we reach the part that every viewer waits for, the value and real market worth of rare 1963 pennies. A regular circulated coin is usually worth only face value. But special error coins and high-grade pieces can be worth significantly more. A high-quality red example in superb gem condition has sold at auction for more than $200. Rare repunched mint mark pieces can reach $100 or more. Exceptional doubled die varieties have been known to sell for more than $1,000. Coin number 2. We explore a coin that collectors quietly chase, a coin from an era just before a huge change in American coinage, a coin that can appear completely normal at first glance but may secretly be worth far more than 1 cent. This is the story of the United States of America Lincoln Penny from 1980D, a coin that seems ordinary but hides surprises that can turn an everyday find into a collectible prize. The 1980D Lincoln Penny was minted in Denver at a time when the United States was preparing for one of the biggest transitions in the Lincoln cent series. This was one of the final years before copper cents were replaced by a copper-plated zinc composition. That alone gives the 1980D penny a special place in the hearts of collectors, because it represents the end of the heavy, rich copper era that shaped the look and feel of American small-denomination coins for generations. Many people don't realize that these coins were made with 95% copper, a metal that ages beautifully, develops deep red and brown tones, and produces some of the most attractive mint errors in the entire penny series. But what truly makes the 1980D penny fascinating is the variety of mistakes and striking anomalies that were created during its production. The Denver Mint was producing millions upon millions of coins that year, and with such huge volume, errors became inevitable. That means rare discoveries are still out there, waiting in rolls, jars, drawers, and old boxes untouched for decades. One of the most desirable errors for 1980D pennies is the filled mint mark. Sometimes grease or debris clogged the punch during striking, causing the D mint mark to appear swollen, weak, or partially missing. To a casual observer it seems like a small smudge, but to collectors it is a rare and valuable minting flaw. Equally popular is the repunched mint mark variety. Even though mint marks were no longer hand-punched on the die after the mid-70s, misalignment and hub issues sometimes created doubling effects that look like a second D shadowing under the first. When discovered, these coins can sell for much more than face value, especially when found in high grade. Another highly collectible error is the off-center strike. When the planchet is not positioned correctly, the design lands unevenly, leaving part of the surface blank or showing a curved crescent of missing metal. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still fully visible. Off-center pennies from this year with strong strikes and intact dates attract serious interest. Collectors also search for broad strikes, where the collar that shapes the coin's rim fails, causing the penny to spread out wider than normal. These coins look unusual, almost like they melted slightly, and because they cannot be recreated intentionally, they are prized authentic mint errors. There are also die cracks and die breaks in 1980D pennies. These happen when the mint's equipment starts to wear down, causing raised lines or bumps to appear on the finished coin. Some cracks run across Lincoln's portrait like lightning, others stretch through the date or through the letters of United States of America. These natural imperfections make every coin unique and collectible. The most dramatic and valuable of all errors for this year is the doubled die. True doubled die pennies, where the design is impressed twice in slightly different positions during hubbing, create bold doubling on the date, the motto, or the lettering. Because doubled dies occur at the die creation stage, they are extremely scarce, and collectors are constantly searching for new examples from the 1980D series. If visually strong, these coins can reach exceptional value, but rarity isn't limited to errors. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of a 1980D penny. Most of these coins circulated heavily, sat in pockets, cash drawers, and machines, losing their original mint luster. Finding a perfectly preserved coin from 1980 with blazing red copper surfaces, sharp details, and no scratches is extremely difficult today. These high-grade pieces, known as red gems, are the most desirable. Collectors love them not just because of value but because they show the coin exactly as it appeared the moment it left the Denver Mint. Many collectors enjoy hunting these pennies because they represent a turning point in U.S. coinage, a final chapter before zinc replaced copper. This adds emotional and historical value to the coin. Someone holding a pristine 1980D penny is holding one of the final generations of true copper cents, and that alone makes the coin worth preserving and studying. Now we arrive at the part all viewers wait for: the real market value and auction records of the rare 1980 Lincoln Penny. A standard circulated coin is usually worth only 1 cent. But high-grade pieces in brilliant red condition have sold for more than $200. Off-center and broad strike errors have sold for more than $100. Strong repunched mint mark examples can reach more than $50. Dramatic doubled die coins have reached auction values higher than $1,000. Coin number 3. Most people would glance at this small coin and walk past it without a second thought. But collectors know something that the average person does not. The 1979 Lincoln 1-cent coin hides secrets, errors, and rare features that can make it one of the most fascinating coins in modern pocket change. Today, we explore the story behind this penny, the mysteries inside its design, and why coin lovers around the world are still searching for rare varieties that turn this simple 1-cent coin into a prized collectible. The 1979 penny came from a time just before a major change in American coinage. It was minted in pure copper composition, the same 95% copper and 5% zinc tin alloy that had been used for decades. This gives the coin a naturally warm, rich color that ages beautifully over the years. Copper coins develop red, brown, or deep chocolate tones, each telling a different story of age and storage. But what truly makes this year fascinating is the variety of mistakes and striking anomalies that the mint unintentionally produced. These rare defects, once considered simple imperfections, are now among the most valuable features collectors hope to find. One of the most intriguing possibilities in the 1979 penny is the doubled die. This happens when the coin's design is imprinted twice on the die in slightly different positions. The result is doubled lettering, doubled numbers, or ghost-like outlines around key design elements. On a 1979 penny, doubling can appear on the date, on the word Liberty, or on the inscription "In God We Trust." Strong doubled dies are incredibly rare, and new examples continue to appear from private collections and old change hoards. A true doubled die transforms the value of the coin instantly. Another sought-after variety is the repunched mint mark found on Denver minted coins from 1979. Even though the minting process had become more modern by this time, misalignments still happened. Some coins show the D punched more than once, or slightly shifted, creating a double shadow effect under magnification. Collectors love these coins because they offer a visual reminder of minting history and human error inside a mechanical world, but that is not all. 1979 pennies also include dramatic off-center strikes. These happen when the blank planchet is not placed properly inside the striking chamber. The design then appears shifted to the left, right, or upward, leaving a portion of the coin blank. The more extreme the shift, the more valuable the error becomes, especially when the date remains fully visible. These coins are striking, no pun intended, because they look like a piece of modern art frozen in time. Another exciting discovery from this year is the broad strike error. This occurs when the collar that shapes the rim fails, causing the coin to spread out wider than normal. Broad-struck pennies look unusual and instantly catch the eye of collectors because the outer edge appears stretched and smooth. These cannot be artificially replicated, which makes genuine examples highly collectible. Die cracks and die breaks from 1979 also hold special interest. As the dies aged and developed stress fractures, raised lines formed across the coin's surface during striking. Some cracks run across Lincoln's head like a lightning bolt. Others move through the date or through the motto, giving the coin a dramatic personality. There are even cut errors, where a piece of the die breaks off completely, leaving a large raised blob along the rim. These cut errors are among the rarest and most valuable finds because they represent a moment of total failure in the minting equipment. Collectors also enjoy searching for high-grade 1979 pennies in brilliant red condition. A red coin from this year, preserved perfectly from the moment it left the mint, is extremely difficult to find in circulation today. Most pennies from 1979 pass through decades of heavy use, rubbing against coins, touching dirty hands, slipping into jars, and losing their original luster. A flawless, bright, red gem is like finding a time traveler from the past. These pieces command significant premium in the market because condition is everything in collecting. Another reason collectors love the 1979 penny is because it belongs to the final stretch of full copper coins before the massive transition to zinc. This historical identity gives the coin charm and nostalgia. Many collectors built entire albums based on copper tones, and the 1979 penny plays a key role in that journey. It captures the artistic details of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, with tiny lines inside the pillars and even the small figure of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Under magnification, these details are stunning and show the craftsmanship behind the design. So when you look at a 1979 penny, do not ignore it. Examine the date, the mint mark, the lettering, the fields, the rim, and the surface texture. Errors hide in the smallest details. Collectors know that treasures are found not by chance, but by careful eyes and patience. Your next rare coin could be hiding inside an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or even loose pocket change. Now we reach the moment every viewer waits for, the real market price and auction value of rare 1979 Lincoln 1-cent coins. A normal circulated penny is worth only 1 cent. But high-grade red gems have sold for more than $100. Strong off-center and broad strike errors have sold for more than $50. Repunched mint mark varieties have reached more than $70. Bold doubled die coins have reached auction values higher than $1,000. Coin number 4. Most people see it as a simple 1-cent coin, but collectors know that the 1968 D penny holds far more secrets than its small size suggests. In fact, some varieties of this coin are so rare, so unusual, and so visually striking that people spend hours searching through rolls just hoping to find one magical piece that stands above the rest. The 1968 D penny belongs to a generation of pure copper cents, made with 95% copper. That alone gives it special charm, because copper coins age beautifully. Some remain bright fiery red, others develop deep chocolate tones, while some form rainbow patterns that collectors call natural toning. Every shade, every color tells its own story of where the coin has traveled for more than half a century. But the real adventure begins when you start looking for mint errors and rare production mistakes that were never intended to happen. One of the most famous and thrilling varieties for the 1968 D penny is the repunched mint mark. In this era, mint marks were hand-punched onto the die. That means the worker manually pressed the D onto the die, and this process sometimes created doubling or even tripling. On the coin, this appears as a shadow or second D sitting underneath or slightly to the side. These varieties excite collectors because each one is unique, and some repunched D marks for 1968 are extremely rare. People sometimes discover them only after carefully examining their coins with a magnifier, realizing they have something far more special than they imagined. Another exciting error for the 1968 D is the doubled die variety. Although extremely rare for this year, doubled dies occur when the die receives a misaligned impression during creation. The result is doubling in the lettering, the date, or the motto. Doubling on "In God We Trust" or "On Liberty" is especially valuable because it is visible without special equipment. Spotting a true doubled die penny from 1968 D is like striking treasure, and only a very small number are believed to exist. Collectors also love searching for off-center strikes. When the planchet is not centered correctly in the machine, the design is struck unevenly, leaving part of the coin blank. Off-center errors from 1968 D with a clear date are worth far more than normal circulated pennies. And the greater the shift, the more dramatic the value becomes. A perfect off-center strike from this year looks almost like the coin is melting or pushed to the side. Another thrilling error is the broad strike. This happens when the retaining collar around the coin fails, allowing the metal to expand outward during striking. The result is a penny that looks wider or stretched. These are visually striking and instantly recognizable. Broad-struck pennies from the 1960s are favorites among error collectors because they show exactly what happens when machinery misbehaves at the mint, but the surprises don't end there. Some 1968 D pennies show die cracks, raised lines on the surface created when the die is fractured. Cracks can run from the rim across Lincoln's portrait, or across the date, or through the words United States of America. Larger cracks create something called a die break, and when a piece of the die actually falls off, the resulting coin has a dramatic raised blob known as a cud. Cud errors from 1968D are rare and highly collectible because every cud is a unique fingerprint of how the die failed. There are also coins with struck-through errors. These occur when a piece of debris, grease, metal, cloth, or wire gets between the die and the planchet during striking. The resulting texture on the coin looks unusual, smooth, hollowed, or strangely shaped. These errors are fascinating because they are unpredictable and one-of-a-kind. Collectors also search for high-grade examples of the 1968D penny, especially coins that still shine bright red like the day they left the Denver Mint. Most pennies from this year circulated heavily, rubbing against countless surfaces and picking up scratches and wear. A spotless, flawless red gem from 1968 is extremely difficult to find today. When such a coin appears at a grading service, collectors compete fiercely because it represents something close to mint perfection. Another reason the 1968D penny has become so popular among coin lovers is its position in American coinage history. It belongs to the early years of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, a design that lasted from 1959 all the way to 2008. Inside the pillars of the memorial sits the tiny but detailed figure of Abraham Lincoln. Most people never notice this miniature design, but collectors cherish it. When magnified, the detail is impressive and brings out the artistry of the coin. For collectors, the 1968D penny is not just copper. It is a story, a challenge, a treasure hunt. Every coin holds the possibility of being the next great discovery. Every roll could hide a rare variety waiting to be found. And every collector knows that the thrill of discovery is what keeps the passion alive. And now we reach the part every viewer waits for: the real market value and auction worth of rare 1968D pennies. A circulated regular coin is worth 1 cent. High-grade red gems have sold for more than $100. Dramatic off-center and broad strike errors have sold for more than $70. Strong repunched mint mark varieties have sold for more than $150. Rare double die examples have reached auction records higher than $1,000. Coin number 5. Old copper penny from the year 1971 with the small d mint mark below the date. You may think it's just another worn-out cent that passed through countless hands. But coin collectors know something special about this coin. The 1971D Lincoln penny might look simple, ordinary, even forgettable, but it carries mysteries, hidden errors, rare features, and stories from behind the walls of the Denver Mint that make it one of the most fascinating coins of its era. And today, we are going deep into its history, its hidden treasures, and the rare mistakes that could turn a single 1-cent piece into a valuable collectible worth far more than you can imagine. The 1971D penny belongs to the long-running series of copper Lincoln Memorial cents. These coins were made with 95% copper, giving them that rich red-brown color that collectors admire. Copper coins age beautifully, developing warm tones and natural patterns. Some 1971D pennies remain bright red, some turn deep brown, and others develop stunning rainbow hues that look like art. Every shade reflects where the coin has traveled for more than 50 years. But color and tone are only the beginning. What truly attracts collectors are the mint errors and rare varieties that were never meant to exist. One of the most exciting discoveries for this coin is the rare double die. Although the Philadelphia Mint is famous for extreme double dies from 1971, the Denver Mint also produced subtle and scarce doubling varieties that collectors still hunt for. When the die receives two misaligned impressions during preparation, the final coins show ghost-like doubling on the date, on Liberty, or on the motto. Even slight doubling can make a coin far more valuable, because genuine doubled dies are extremely limited. Some of these varieties disappeared into circulation for years before collectors finally noticed them under magnification. Another important rarity for the 1971D penny is the repunched mint mark. Since mint marks during this period were punched onto the working dies by hand, workers sometimes applied the D slightly off-center, then corrected it, creating a doubled or even tripled shadow beneath the mint mark. These repunched mint marks are treasure finds for collectors. Some show the second D clearly, while others appear as small notches or overlapping edges. Each one represents an error in the minting process that cannot be repeated today. Collectors also search for off-center strikes from 1971D. These mistakes occur when the planchet is not perfectly centered during striking, causing the design to appear shifted or pushed toward one edge. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable it becomes, especially if the date remains fully visible. These coins look dramatic and immediately stand out from normal pennies. Off-center errors from the early 1970s are extremely popular because they show the personality and imperfections of the minting machines. Another eye-catching error is the broad strike. When the collar that shapes the rim fails, the metal expands outward, creating a coin that looks stretched or flattened around the edges. These coins have no normal rim, and their unusual appearance makes them instantly collectible. Since broad strikes cannot be faked easily, genuine examples are always in demand. Die cracks and die breaks from 1971D also captured the attention of collectors. As the dies wore down, they developed fractures that left raised lines on the surface of the coin. Some cracks cross Lincoln's portrait like lightning, others run through the date or the lettering, and some are large enough to form cut errors, raised blobs along the rim where part of the die completely broke away. Cut errors are rare, dramatic, and among the most valuable errors from this year because every cut is unique. Another type of fascinating mistake is the struck-through error. When foreign material such as grease, wire, metal flakes, or cloth gets between the die and the planchet, the resulting coin shows strange indentations or missing design details. These coins look unusual and attract collectors because each struck-through error is one of a kind. High-grade 1971D pennies are another hidden treasure. Most of these coins circulated heavily for decades, losing their original shine. A perfectly preserved red example from 1971 is extremely difficult to find today. High-grade red gems with strong luster and sharp details command impressive premium in the collector market. Every collector dreams of finding one because it represents a piece of the past frozen in time, untouched by circulation. The 1971D penny also holds significance because it belongs to the early years of the Lincoln Memorial design, an era that lasted from 1959 until 2008. The back of the coin holds fine details: the pillars, the stairs, the lettering, and the tiny figure of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Many people never realize that another portrait of Lincoln is hidden within the building on the reverse side. Under magnification, these details come alive, reminding us of the craftsmanship invested in the coin. For collectors, this coin is more than copper. It is history combined with mystery, a challenge waiting to be solved. Every roll, every jar, every pocket of old coins might contain a rare 1971D penny with a valuable error or a beautiful high-grade finish. That thrill of possibility is what keeps collectors searching. Now we arrive at the part everyone waits for: the real market value and auction prices for rare 1971D Lincoln pennies. A normal circulated 1971D penny is worth 1 cent. High-grade red gems have sold for more than $100. Dramatic off-center and broad strike errors have sold for more than $80. Repunched mint mark varieties have sold for more than $150. Rare doubled die examples have reached auction prices higher than $1,000. Coin number 6. Today's story takes us deep into the fascinating world of American coinage, where a simple 1-cent piece from the year 1975 becomes a treasure that collectors chase with excitement, patience, and hope. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most iconic coins of the United States, but the 1975D mintmark version carries a mysterious charm that makes coin lovers stop and listen closely. This is not just a small copper coin. It is a piece of history struck at the Denver Mint, a place known for producing billions of pennies, yet among those billions a few unusual pieces have turned into legends. And today, we uncover why this coin attracts attention and why collectors search for it with a passion that never fades. The 1975D Lincoln penny belongs to the era right before major changes took place in the composition of the cent. These were the years when pennies were still made from 95% copper, giving them a weight, feel, and tone that collectors adore. But what truly makes some examples of this coin rare and valuable are the errors that slipped through the minting process. Imagine a massive factory of machines striking thousands of coins per minute. A tiny misalignment, a damaged die, or a planchet mistake can create a coin that stands apart from the millions around it. And that single unusual coin becomes a treasure for the person who discovers it. Collectors often look for double die errors on the 1975 D penny. These include doubling on the date, the mint mark, or the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. Under magnification, the doubling can appear sharp, bold, and unmistakable, giving the coin a dramatic and unique appearance. Coins with strong doubling instantly become desirable because they are not common and because they tell the story of a die that was worn, misaligned, or struck more than once. Another rare issue is the off-center strike. If the coin was not perfectly centered when struck, the design shifts aside, leaving part of the surface blank while the other part shows the image displaced. The percent of off-center determines the value, and the presence of a full date makes such coins even more attractive. Some 1975 D pennies also show die cracks, die chips, and cuts, where small pieces of the die broke and left raised metal blobs on the coin. These natural imperfections give personality to the penny, making every error variety unique. One of the most interesting mistakes collectors talk about is the strike-through error, where foreign material like cloth, grease, or wire came between the die and the planchet, leaving strange patterns or missing details. Every strike-through error becomes a one-of-a-kind collectible because no two pieces look the same. Even regular coins from this year can shine if they remain in high grade. A bright red, well-preserved 1975 D penny with sharp details and original mint luster is not easy to find today because these coins circulated heavily for decades. Finding a mint state example pulled straight from original rolls or bags can excite collectors who know how much condition affects rarity. A coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye may actually be a top-tier gem when evaluated by a collector who understands strike, luster, surfaces, and color. The story of this coin is more than metal and dates. It is the thrill of searching, the fun of discovering errors, the curiosity of understanding how coins are made, and the deeper appreciation of American history. Every collector who holds a rare Lincoln penny from 1975 feels connected to the past, imagining how that coin moved through hands, pockets, drawers, machines, and decades until it ended up in a collection or was pulled aside because something about it was different. And now the most awaited part for viewers who want to know its real market value. A regular circulated 1975 D penny is worth only face value, but coins in mint state grade sell for real money, while rare errors can explode in value depending on the variety. So what are collectors paying today? Clean, bright, untouched mint state examples have sold in auction for more than $100 in words, and powerful major errors like dramatic off-center strikes, strong double dies, or rare strike-through pieces have brought more than $1,000 in words. Coin number 7. We are stepping into a world where a small copper coin from the year 1978 becomes the center of attention for coin collectors across the globe. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most collected coins in American history, but something about the 1978 1-cent coin keeps pulling people back to it again and again. It looks simple at first glance, just the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, yet within this ordinary design hides an entire universe of mystery, error varieties, hidden rarities, and valuable surprises that only true coin lovers understand. This is the kind of coin that makes collectors slow down, examine every tiny detail, and enjoy the thrill of discovery. The year 1978 represents the closing chapter of a fascinating era in United States mint history. These were among the last pennies made from the classic copper alloy that collectors love. Each coin carried the weight, sound, and rich tone of an era that was about to change forever. And because billions of these coins were produced, the rare treasures among them became harder to find, buried under mountains of regular circulation pieces. That is exactly what makes finding a rare variety from this year so satisfying. It feels like uncovering gold hidden in plain sight. Collectors know that the magic of the 1978 penny lies in the errors that escaped the minting process. These errors tell the story of how a massive high-speed mint machine can make even the smallest misstep and create something extraordinary. One of the most famous and desirable issues in this year is the double die variety. Doubling can appear on the date, the letters in Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, or the Lincoln Memorial details. True doubling is sharp, bold, and easy to identify under magnification, and when found on a 1978 cent, it can transform the coin from common to highly collectible. Another rare and exciting error is the off-center strike. When the planchet is not perfectly aligned during the strike, the design shifts to one side, leaving a crescent of blank area visible. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the full date remains intact. Collectors adore these pieces because they freeze a moment of mechanical malfunction, capturing a mistake that could never be intentionally repeated. Stunning clipped planchet errors can also appear on 1978 cents. These occur when the blank planchet was cut improperly, leaving a curved or straight chunk missing from the coin. These unusual shapes make the coin instantly recognizable and highly desirable. Even more interesting are strike-through errors, where objects like wire, grease, or fabric became trapped between the die and the planchet. These leave strange patterns, missing details, or sculpted textures that no other coin in the batch will ever share. Every strike-through is a one-of-a-kind collectible. The die cracks and die chips are also common but fascinating. These raised lines and blobs of metal result from damage or wear on the dies themselves. The Lincoln Penny series has some dramatic die cracks that stretch across Lincoln's face or the memorial columns, giving each coin a unique personality and earning them special nicknames among hobbyists. Even without errors, the 1978 penny can be a treasure if it survives in superb mint condition. Most of these coins circulated heavily, lost their shine, scratched their surfaces, and picked up years of wear. Finding a bright red, untouched, original mint state example is thrilling for collectors. A coin with full original luster, sharp strike, clean fields, and perfect surfaces stands out immediately. These high-grade beauties often come from old rolls, forgotten collections, or long-stored mint bags. When discovered today, they feel like time capsules from nearly half a century ago, but the story does not end with rarity alone. What makes the 1978 penny truly special is how it connects collectors to the past. Every person holding this coin imagines where it might have traveled, how it survived, and how many hands it passed through before finding its way to a collector's tray. This emotional connection makes the hobby meaningful, and this coin continues to inspire new collectors every year. And now, for viewers who are waiting to know the real market value, here is the truth spoken in words. A regular circulated 1978 penny generally holds face value, but well-preserved mint state examples can sell for as much as $100 in words. Dramatic errors like strong double dies, large off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and powerful strike-through varieties have been sold in major auctions for more than $1,000 in words.